Welcome to ASC, Robbie. As many people have seen in the recent news, TikTok is a very popular topic, as we've seen lately. Most of our audience has quickly become aware of the platform. Could you briefly explain what TikTok is and how large of a user community you have?
Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here and excited to chat about TikTok and our community. So, at its core, TikTok is a storytelling app. It's a place where people go to be entertained and inspired. And so we've currently got about 100 million Americans using the platform, and they're using it for all sorts of purposes. You see doctors, you see engineers, you see lawyers. I mean, you have every sort of community imaginable on the platform. And for me, on kind of the media partnership side, it's been really exciting to see how our different partners have used the platform. And that includes some of our amazing partners in the action sports space. So really excited to dig into some of these communities today.
With the recent events, TikTok has become a place for activism, engaging and empowering the youth to give them a voice about the social issues like BLM, climate change, and getting out to vote. Was that expected, and how did TikTok handle all of this?
Yeah, a lot of people think about TikTok as a place for funny memes or for dance content, but it's so much more. It really is a place for self-expression. And, I think we've seen that throughout the entire year. I mean, going back even before the events of late May and June, for me, what was really amazing was to see the heartfelt response to Kobe Bryant's passing earlier this year. I mean, you see our users coming out in droves to, give their stories and to, tell how they felt about Kobe and what he meant to them. And so that was, to me, kind of the moment where I really realized how powerful the platform was. And then, of course, surrounding the events of May and June, you see amazing content from Black Lives Matter, and currently that hashtag has more than 22 billion views in app. So clearly there's momentum around that storytelling. And earlier this week, we actually launched an in-app guide to the U.S. elections, and so voter information is a priority for us. And last but not least, I think you see a lot of cause-oriented campaigns as well. We were talking earlier about the World Surf League. They're one of the best at this, actually, and they do such a great job across all platforms of supporting ocean conservation. And last year, actually, they participated in our Going Green hashtag to support ocean conservation. And they've just done an amazing job of kind of leading the way when it comes to cause-oriented content on TikTok.
That's great to hear. While some may think TikTok is more influencer-based, there has been a shift, as we've been hearing about, to be more sports-related content utilizing the platform. Can you give us some examples of what you have seen, not only from the traditional sports, but maybe from the action sports, lifestyle, and outdoor space?
Absolutely. I mean, could go on and on here, but from maybe the traditional sports space, you have your NBAs, your NFLs, your Major League Baseballs. But like you mentioned, action sports have really taken on more prominence over the last year, I'd say. And it is everyone from World Surf League, who has 2 million followers, and they're leaning into the TikTok trends, and they're really using sounds and creative effects. From World Surf League to Red Bull, who I know you're familiar with, they've got 4.8 million followers on the platform, and they're featuring athletes across all of their sports, from wakeboarding to free running to bobsleigh, which is really cool. And I think even beyond sort of the brand level, you see some really cool user stories in the action sports space. So there was a woman named Anna Cotto, who's like a rollerblading sensation on TikTok. And she actually sparked so much interest in roller skates that they started selling out online earlier this year. And so I think both on the brand and on the user side, there's a lot of momentum on traditional and action sports.
What type of content have you seen has stood out that has maybe created exceptional levels of engagement and interactions with your users?
Yeah, so I think with content, the coolest content for me to see is the content that is around community and community building, because that's what we see as TikTok. TikTok is a place for people to find communities that they are a part of, or that maybe they didn't know they're a part of, but that they want to be a part of. And so a good example of that is this Step Chickens cult that formed on TikTok earlier this year. I mean, it started as just this one user proclaiming that she was the leader of this cult. And then you see this growing momentum from the Houston Rockets and the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Rays joining the cult on TikTok and just having fun and sort of being lighthearted in a way that you don't necessarily see on all sorts of social platforms. So, there are those trends that start on TikTok. And some of those trends make their way to real life. So an example of that is Juju Smith-Schuster, who is like the star receiver of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is now doing TikTok dances when he scores a touchdown. And so it's cool to see kind of those moments from TikTok move outside of the app even and sort of gain broader awareness in popular culture.
A number of our viewers I know are asking, what can brands do to utilize your platform and generate brand awareness and also ultimately drive users to purchase their products?
Yeah, so it all starts with just, spending time on TikTok, understanding what it's about, understanding the sensibility, what users are looking for, and really last but not least, not taking yourself too seriously. And so when it comes to brands, I'd say, first and foremost, just utilizing the TikTok best practices. So publishing content that is full screen, vertical video, that uses TikTok creative effects that's sort of native to the platform. And the best and kind of most recent example of this is Xbox, which came onto the platform in an organic way last week. And they were sort of leaning into the conversations and the trends and the themes on TikTok. They've posted about 4 videos. They have over 600,000 followers over the last week. And this is like purely organic. And so that's kind of been Xbox's way to sort of put their toe in the water. And so sure, going forward, they may, try to put some paid media and advertising on the app, but it all started with an organic campaign.
One aspect of TikTok is showing the different sides of those who use it. They're more open, they're showcasing their personality. Why do you see this happening, and what have you seen that resonates?
Yeah, so one of my favorite quotes about TikTok is that it's the last sunny corner of the internet. This is from a New Yorker article last year. And so, I think our app is fundamentally different because it is a content graph and not a social graph. And so, we're not prioritizing content that's about FOMO, or we're not prioritizing the most beautiful picture. We are prioritizing content that makes users feel a certain way. I mean, our For You feed is so catered to the individual user that, my For You feed would look different than your For You feed would look different than anyone else's For You feed. And so I think with that in mind, it's like when you open the app, you see content that is really catered to you and that really appeals to your sensibilities. And then there's also this surprise and delight factor, which I think keeps people around. It's like, what's the next video gonna be? What is this sort of catered service going to show me that I may or may not wanna see? And so I think there's a lot of different ways that we have understood our users and that we're serving the best content for them.
So what's next for TikTok? Is there anything you can kind of share to let our audience know?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And I think like we are really trying to mobilize around ways to serve our users in, these unprecedented times. And something that I'm really excited about is our live streaming capabilities. We have done really cool and innovative work in the live streaming space. So we worked with the artist The Weeknd to do a fully virtual concert. And so, you have like, you have, it's kind of like a choose your own adventure concert. It was wild. And so you have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who are watching. And, you see The Weeknd performing, and then there are kind of these prompts that ask users, okay, should he get in the car or should he walk? And so the users are kind of like choosing their own adventure in the concert. And so that to me was just a mind-blowing experience and a preview of what's to come. And I think we really want to lean into live streaming for the foreseeable future because we want to continue to provide our community access to amazing events and to the artists and the athletes and the activists that they love.
I know this is a topic that we can talk so much more about. Is there anything else you would like to share with our audience to kind of get them to understand TikTok and maybe start using it with not only themselves personally, but with their brand?
The last thing I'll say is just that, obviously, when I say that I work at TikTok, a lot of people might say, oh, I've never downloaded. I don't know what it's about. It's too hard for me or whatever. But I will say that my 93-year-old grandma has TikTok and she will text me about it almost every day. She recently saw a video about someone making spaghetti tacos, which is just kind of like the perfect content for my grandma to see. And it just goes to show that if my grandma, who was born in 1927, can download and enjoy TikTok, then you can as well.
It's great to talk with you about this. I think if anything, you gave us a quick glimpse of what TikTok is. Hopefully people I know are going to probably ask some more questions and be curious about it. And so we're going to keep this conversation kind of going with them afterwards. So Robbie, thank you so much for taking the time and really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Mark. Appreciate it.